It is Fat Bear Week. I'm very excited. I love Fat Bear Week. It is the only valid tournament that I care about. It is more important than the NHL and more important than the Olympics, in my opinion. And the TLDR of Fat Bear Week is that it is a annual tournament hosted by Katmai National Park. Basically what you do is you look at pictures of the bears that they took and you figure out who is the fattest bear, and everyone votes. And then there's going to be a winner at the end of the week. Welcome back to Fat Bear Week. It is day 7. We are in at the finals. This is the last day. This is all the last couple of days have been building up to this moment, and so this is going to be a very interesting face-off. And yeah, let's get started. Now, before we get started, before we actually, look at the bears, 32 Chunk and 747, I want to talk a little bit about the history. I want to explain to you, spin you a tale and talk about why this matchup is going to be so interesting. And exactly, raise the stakes a little bit, because I feel like a lot of people, follow Fat Bear Week, but don't necessarily know a lot about the lore and the contestants over the years. So, just to give you, a little bit of a history lesson here and why this matchup matters so much. This is not 747's first time in the finals. In 2017, he faced off against 480 Otis and lost, and in 2018, faced off against 409 Beatnose and obviously also lost. So this is his third time in finals. As for 32 Chunk, he has made it to the semifinals once. He faced off against 480 Otis, who, as I just mentioned, went on to defeat 747, so they have a common enemy. But what's even more interesting is that 747 and 32 Chunk have faced off in the past. Back in 2016, they were at the semifinals, and 747 outweighed 32 Chunk. And then back in 2018, which was the last time that 747 made to the finals. In the semifinals, he faced off against 32 Chunk and obviously defeated him. So now, the stakes are a little bit raised. This is very much a third times the charm situation for both bears. 32 Chunk has faced off with 747 before. Is this going to be the third times the charm? Is this going to be finally the moment in which he finally, beats 747? Or is this going to be a third time's the charm for 747? He's been to the finals 3 times. Is this finally the time that he's going to get gold? So the stakes are high here. Here for 747, it's very much a, wanting to get that gold. And for 32 Chunk, it's very much personal in nature, Like, it'd be one thing to show up, to the finals a number of times, but it's a completely different thing if you have faced off with this opponent at various points in the competition. So, I just wanted to give you a little bit more information there. Yeah, let's get started for the actual matchup now that you know the stakes of the situation. So, 32 Chunk versus 747. Fat Bear Week Finals. Today's the day we will crown 2020's Fat Bear Week champion. Where 747's sedulous quest for salmon secured him a stout stomach, 32 Chunk's playful pursuit of protein provided him with a prodigious paunch. Patience and pertinacity paid off for these two behemoths of the Brooks River. Who will win the Battle of the Bellies? So, let's look at them. It should be noted that yesterday, 128 Grazer lost to 32 Chunk, and I think that was very unfair. There were clearly no bexperts, bear experts, on duty yesterday, which was very unfortunate. I would have liked to see 128 Grazer versus 747 in this matchup. But in the end, I don't think it really matters, because I think that 747 is the bigger bear here. And I think that at this point in the competition, I have trained. My eye has been trained. I had a weak moment on day 5 or 4, one of the days. It was a weak moment for me, but I have since, practiced. I have, my eyes have been trained. I am now familiar and capable with, you know, bear biology and bear obesity, bobesity looks like at this point. So, you know, I think I have a trained eye and I have officially become a bexpert. So I'm gonna, you know, make my judgment, and my judgment is correct, and if the people vote differently than me, then the people are wrong, because I am right. So let's look at some other factors. So first of all, we can see that 747 had a bit of an advantage over 32 Chunk. You know, he carried obviously a lot of weight in his thigh and butt here, compared to 32 Chunks, who seems to have a lot of weight in his shoulders. But as flabby as his stomach is, you can tell that his shoulders are quite thin. Whereas 747 overall just has a natural rotundity over the shoulders. You can also see that his belly hangs just as low as 32 Chunks. So they're equal in belly size. And so, you know, we have the last place to look is the legs. Now, you can see that there is this nice little thigh fat here because his leg is moving forward. 747 doesn't have that little lump there, but that's because his legs are straight down. He is, 32 Chunk is clearly in a very dynamic position, whereas 747 is very much, he's clearly waiting for the catch. And so, just by looking at them, when you tally up the scores, when you look up all the body parts, sure, 32 Chunks seems to have a bigger belly than 747, but in my opinion, 747 is just girthier overall. He's just, you know, thicker. His, you know, waiting for salmon, his slow but steady wins the race, very clearly paid off. This strategy was solid this season, and so in my opinion, 747 is the winner here. I'll be very surprised if people vote for 32 Chunk. Fuck yes! Hell yeah! The people are on my side. We are correct. 747 is triumphant. Obviously, we still have to wait. It is currently 8:42, so we still have an hour and 15 minutes left, but he has more than double the votes, and so I'm 100% certain that 747 has secured the win. Lardacious Leviathan levels Chunky Challenger. The votes are in. You've crowned the Earl of Avoirdupois, Bear 747, the 2020 Fat Bear Week champion. 747's voluminous visage eclipsed 32's chunky chassis. No longer the runner-up, 747 fulfills the fate of the fat and fabulous as he heads off to hibernation. Yeah, it was a fantastic competition this year. I wish all of the bears a wonderful hibernation. I hope to see all of them back next year, hopefully even some newcomers. That would be really awesome to see who's going to be there for the 2021 season. If you just want to see who won, peace out. If you want to see my opinion on who I think is the fattest bear of all time, keep watching. So a few days ago, when Holly was in the competition, I made the claim that she was the fattest bear of all time, and today I want to stand by that claim with proof. So what I did is I went onto the Facebook group of Katmai National Park. You know, I went through all their pictures, I scrolled back, and I found all of the pictures of the contestants. So, the first Fat Bear Week was held in 2014. It was one day. It was only until 2015 that they actually stretched it out to a full week. So, what I want to do is I created my own tournament here. So, the first bracket we have is 480 Otis, 2014 480 Otis versus 409 Bead Nose of 2015. And looking at these two, even though we can't see Otis's full body, I think it's pretty obvious that 480 Otis, 2014 480 Otis, is the biggest bear out of these two. Now we have Otis two more times. Otis has made the finals and won multiple times. He's clearly a veteran at this, so it's probably pretty shocking to some Otis fans that he wasn't able to get too far into the competition this year. The winner of 2016 and 2017 were both 480 Otis, and I think that his 2017 self seems to be more substantial than his 2016 self. Just looking at, you know, his belly especially, it just looks to be a lot larger. though it is definitely a tight call here. So my vote here, just quick analysis, gut feeling, 2017 Otis is the biggest bear. Then we have the 2018 versus 2019 contestants. So Bead Nose 409 won back in 2018, and 435 Holly won back in 2019. And to me, it's obvious Holly is clearly the bigger bear. She just... I don't know what the fuck Holly ate that year, but she is just gargantuan. I have never seen a bear this fucking fat before. Like, holy shit, Holly. Look at that thigh. That's not a thigh. That's just a tree trunk. If there was... I hate the idea of implanting this into somebody's mind, but if Tumblr got a hold of this bear, you know that there would be someone out there that would make a fan fiction picture of her. And I think we all know that the human version of 435 Holly would be an IFSSBBW. For those who don't know what that stands for, it stands for Infinifat, Supersized Big Beautiful Woman. Now we have the next round. We have 2014 Otis versus 2017 Otis. So, you know, he's still fighting himself here. And looking between the two, I feel like this is a really tight call. It's really hard to tell with this particular picture. Like, this is just a really close call. As a bexpert, I'm putting my vote here on 2017 Otis. Now we're going to compare the Holly 2019 versus 747. And in my opinion, once again, Holly is fucking enormous. So she clearly wins this round. The final matchup to see who gets silver and who gets gold, 2017 Otis versus 2019 Holly. And again, by a landslide, in my personal opinion, Holly takes the cake. She is the gold finalist. Like, she's on top. She comes out on top every time. You know, so Holly, again, I don't know what the hell she ate that year. Clearly she hogged all of the salmon, and she did great. I think she did fantastic, and that her reign as fattest bear of Fat Bear Week of all time will be very difficult to beat. So we have Holly as 2019 Holly as gold. We have 2017 Otis as silver. And as for bronze, we are left, we're gonna match up 747 versus 480 Otis. In my opinion, 747 is bigger. That's just my opinion. I think that 747 is 2020 747 is bigger than 2014 Otis. So that gives us a finale of Holly, 2019 Holly, 2017 Otis, and 2020 747 as gold, silver, and bronze. I think that it'd be really interesting next year to see if any of the bears will bump anyone off of that podium. That wraps up Fat Bear Week of 2020. I hope you enjoyed this daily, play-by-play. And before we go, I have a question. Who do you think should have won Fat Bear Week 2020? Do you think that the people judged wrong? Do you think that there was a bear that should have won instead? Put down your comment. Put down your opinion in the comment. I'd like to know if you have a different opinion than me, and also if you could justify that opinion. I think that would be interesting, because this year I went purely by fat, but I think that next year I might take into consideration more factors. I don't know. I'll have to see. But I know that there's a lot of people that consider growth, because some bears grew more than others. I know that some people go by relative size. I know that some people judge basically solely on weight. And so it'd be interesting to see different perspectives, considering I chose a very specific method this year in which I just looked at objective weight. So, yeah, just let me know. If you enjoyed this, please try to like remember my channel, just so that you can come back next year, because as long as Fat Bear Week is happening and this channel exists, I will be doing a yearly play-by-play. So yeah, that's it. Peace.